Happy Thursday morning, everybody. I feel 100% better. As Louis chews on his foot. So, a lot to say this morning, but I'm going to try to keep it short. There's a documentary out on Flow. This Flow app that I tell you about all the time. If you don't know about it, you really should get it if you like racing. The Brian Clausen documentary. Here's a kid that was probably the best talent in open wheel to come along in a while. Went to the Indianapolis 500, and we lost Brian at the Belleville High Banks. Freak accident, and really a sad time. But there was a time he was going to try to run 200 races in 1 year, but we lost Brian. And Tim Clausen, his father, just texted me, like right here at, 7 o'clock this morning. And he said, Kenny, he says, there's some video in there of you and Brian, and made me think about our time together. So anyway, check out that Brian Clausen special on the Flow app. All right, man, I am way better, but it was a nightmare for a total of 10 days. So, I never realized by telling my ailments how much it helps us all. I lost my sister-in-law, my brother Mike's wife. God bless her soul. She died. But she wanted to keep it quiet. She didn't want nobody to know. And a lot of the family members, granted her wishes. We acted like we never knew what was going on. Sometimes there's a thought that, if you tell everybody your ailments, then it helps other people. Because so many people think it's some type of shame or they don't want to be treated different. But for me, when I get a paper cut, I'm like, I got a paper cut. And everybody piles on, I've had a paper cut too. And boy, they hurt. So for me, I talked about my vertigo, and oh my gosh, thank you all. I'm thanking you all right now. I never realized how many people had vertigo. Michael Rigsby, who, runs the race. Louis, Jesus, sorry about the X-rated content. Are you done? So, Michael Rigsby, who runs the racing division of Flow, he said, Kenny, he said, I've had that. He says, I get it once a year, and he says, projectile vomiting. So these are the difficulty things in life where we want everybody to think we're perfect. There's nothing wrong with us. So I'm quite proud of myself that I tell you all my ailments to make you feel better and make me feel better, because we're all together. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's always trying to fix themselves up. So I got to tell you an embarrassing story, but also pisses me off a little bit too. So I go to my doctor, right? Checks my ears, checks both my ears, and says, boy, your ears look good. I said, oh, okay. So I'm on that medication for 7 days. It doesn't help me. I go back to the same doctor. His nurse practitioner, I guess what they call it, she checks my ears. She says, oh, your ears look great. I said, okay. So then I finally get to the ear, nose, throat doctor, ENT. Now, this is a professional. When you go ENT, ear, nose, throat doctor, that's the real deal. Man, I go into a sound room. They check my hearing. This is the real deal. They're going to get to the bottom of it. I tell them my complete history, my big wreck in 1991, and we go 45 minutes. Lady takes and says, let's look in your ears. And I'm thinking, okay, you ain't going to find nothing. This will be the third time you've all checked my ears. She looks in this ear, and she goes, oh, can you roll your head over, please? I said, oh, yes, ma'am. I go like this. She goes, oh, my. I said, what? I'm like, what? She goes, you got a very big piece of wax sitting on your eardrum. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Takes this tube with suction on it, with like some little tool, no pain whatsoever, pulls this son of a bitch out of my brain. But it's not in my ear canal, right? Here's the key point. It's sitting on my eardrum. This damn thing's the size of a corn kernel. My wife is in there with me, Kim. She's like, oh my God. I immediately was so relieved, but thinking to myself, 2 other doctors looked at my ears and said it was fine. So that's my story to all of you. The other ear, perfect. Now, I do know I had vertigo. And I did the Epley maneuver, and I think it's a combination. Okay, so I'm still going. I was supposed to go at 7:15 this morning to do some maneuvers to help me. But boy, I'm 90-something% right now. Now, is it a coincidence that they pulled the wax out hard? But you couldn't. Hell with it. I grabbed it, pretty nasty, but. It's just wax. And I couldn't smash it. This son of a bitch was hard. So I was supposed to go to rehab at 7:15 this morning. They said, Mr. Wallace, at 6:30 this morning, could you do 12:30? I said, thank God. All right. Man, that Kenny Wallace show is on a roll. Jesus. Thank you, Ricky Stenhouse and Kyle Busch. We sure have had a lot to talk about. Well, I'm up early because I had to get ready to go. So I think I'm going to mosey up the shop and I'm going to work real slow, a little bit. Then go to rehab and they're going to put me through some maneuvers. Like I said, man, I feel so good, but I'm going to slow my roll down. I don't want to jinx myself. So, well, that means the big dogs are up when he does that. So, all right, everybody. Talk to you later.